Well, good morning, conversation crew. Good morning to you. It's yet another glorious Sunday morning in the year 2025. We are in September. We're stepping into our season and things are moving very quickly. And I tell you what, I'm very excited. Thank you so much for the tags, the posts, for the results that you are giving. You're staying focused. You're moving forward. You're doing the things that you need to do in order to make sure that this season will be the best season of your life because it's ordained and it's set up by God. When I tell you excited to hear the great testimonies, it's just been amazing. And I've got some to share myself. But before we do that, let me give a shout out to Pastor Jerry II, Bishop Maynard, and Dr. Mary T for their love and their support for what we do each and every Sunday. And for all of you who watch either now live or you come back and catch us on the replay, however you get it, you've been getting it and you've been showing up. And so I really, really, really appreciate it. The numbers are increasing. And this is not just because of me. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying for me to be popular, but we're making Christ popular. We're reaching audiences and people who will never step foot in the church. And even some testimonies that we've received is some people are joining us because they were quote unquote hurt in the church, or they didn't want to come back to church in the way it is. And so we're grateful that the word of God is still going out and reaching people who need to hear it. And it's just because of you. So let me please give you this round of applause. Please receive it today. I'm clapping for you. I'm shouting you out. I'm saying thank you, thank you, thank you for getting the word out. Also, let's just get a shout out for those who joined in and have signed in. I see a lot of you out there on the Facebook because I get to see the numbers as they're populating, they're growing. But let's give a shout out to Betty Patrick and Deborah Derrickson. Elsie White is in the house. Marietta Fondren, Dr. Perry's here. Forrestine Richmond, Deborah Long, Diane Bonner, and so many more, like I said, are out there. You just haven't chimed in yet to say good morning. But if you want your name called, put yourself in the chat so I know that you're out there and you can pop out there so I can see you and I can shout you out. We are so excited because we've been talking to you about stepping into your season, stepping into my season. And I'm not saying that the other area or time that you've had was not a season that you were in, but this is literally your season to accomplish, your season to meet your goals, your season to reset, your season to pivot, your season for you to go get all that God has ordained for you. And you've got to own it. You've got to make it personal. You've got to have confidence. You've got to be able to say, this is my season. We set some goals spiritually, mentally, and physically. We've said to you, go ahead and write these things down. Go ahead and make sure that you're moving forward. And we talked to you about getting out there. We talked to you about moving things forward. We talked to you about how you begin doesn't mean how you're going to end. We talked to you about keeping it moving your feet on last week. We talked to you about that and how important it is for your feet to get moving, using Joshua and the walls of Jericho, and how when you go through those situations and when you have to be obedient to what God has to say. And so we're right there at the crust of the middle. We've just come past the halfway point. All right. Past the halfway point. I'm going to put my coach hat on. I got my coach t-shirt on. I'm going to put my coach gear. So when I was running track, we would have coaches. You had your main coach, and then you had your coaches for your different events. So you had a sprint coach, you had a long distance coach, you had the field coach, so if you were long jump or shot put, you had a different coach that was specific and specialized in that area. So I'm putting this coach, and I want to show you with you. We're at the halfway mark, all right, where the coach is coming out to you. And I'm telling you this, we're talking about stepping into my season. Remember, stepping into my season. But this is what my word is for you today. And this is what we're going to talk about. I need you to pick up the pace. It's the coach, because in halfway there, that's when you first start off the race. You're excited and you're going, you've got a burst of energy, you're focused, and then all of a sudden you're running along and you have other runners with you, right? You can envision this. They're actually over in Tokyo now doing the World Games. And so I've been going on YouTube and watching. But if you just picture this, you're out there and you're running your race. And so sometimes when the race gets a little crowded, You start seeing people picking up. You start seeing people, as we say, make up the gap, because you have a staggered start. They're making up the gap. And you're right there in the middle. You're right there after you come past the halfway point. The coach says, head down, knees up, pick up the pace, because this is when your body begins to say, okay, I've been running. And this is with endurance. This is where training, this is where discipline comes in to play. I need to say it again. This is where training, this is where endurance, and this is where discipline comes into play. If you're not disciplined, you train yourself for these moments that midway through or just past the halfway mark. You train yourself, you train your mind, and you train your body to continue to push forward, because your body's natural response is to begin to shut down because it has utilized a lot of energy. You're running on adrenaline, you're running on excitement. Now your body is starting to calibrate and saying, hey, listen, we're going at a speed or at a pace that's different than what we're used to, and we're tired. And so some of us, we've been going, we've tried this, we've been setting our goals, we've been journaling, we've been getting up and exercising, we've been adding our prayer time, we've been meditating, we've been studying the word of God. God has been blessing us. We've been praying for people. We've added maybe even some ministry to what we've been doing, and we can get tired physically, spiritually, and here's a real big key, mentally or emotionally. And I want to say to you, pick up the pace. So I've got 4 points that I want to go over with you about picking up the pace, and I just want to push it out there for you. God bless you, Roberta and Vincent and Marsha, Mackie. God bless you. Let's go ahead and let's pick up those points very quickly so we can stay focused on what God has for us. The first point is move with urgency in your assignment. A lot of times when we get the assignment from God, when God gives us something to do, we don't move with urgency. We take it lightly. And I want to say to you right now, when we're taking it lightly, you've got to make sure that we're moving with urgency. This is the time to pick it up. Okay. Kind of the grace period it's past that halfway point. Let's move with urgency. The assignment, 1 Samuel 21:8 says, this is David saying this, don't you have a spear or a sword here? And he said, I haven't brought my sword or any other weapon because the king's mission was urgent. And I picked this up. This is the B clause of 1 Samuel 21:8. Let me tell you why. I shared it with you this way. Said, I haven't brought my sword or any weapon because the king's mission was urgent. So many times we are trying to get ourselves together to do the Lord's work. We're trying to get ourselves together. We're trying to make sure we have everything in place. I's dotted, T's crossed according to our criteria. We want to make sure we have all the resources and we have all of the tools necessary. And I want to say to you that when God calls you and he assigns you to do something, you have to make sure that you move by faith in God. Because if God is calling you, he's going to give you what you need. Check this out. Moses, tell the children of Israel, take them to another land. I'm walking you through on your way, leaving Pharaoh and Egypt. And when he gets to the Red Sea, he sees the water and he says, what do I need? How are we going to cross this Red Sea? And God told him, use what you have in your hand, the rod in your hand. And so many times, if Moses would have mapped out, y'all walking with me, if he would have mapped out the travel path from Egypt to the promised land, he probably would have said, let's make sure we have enough food. Let's make sure we have enough this. He would have went down his laundry list of things that he needed in order to make sure that the children of Israel were comfortable. But God didn't allow him to have time. And sometimes you're so busy trying to gather up what you think you need. Oh, that was powerful right there. What you think you need in order to make it, in order to succeed. And God is saying to you today, your assignment is urgent. You need to just gather what you can and let's go. Let's make this thing happen. Let's pick up the pace. Let me put it in just kind of capsule this. When God gives direction, don't drag your feet. Delayed obedience can cost opportunities. And success comes when you step quickly into what he has called you to do. Sometimes when we delay, sometimes we're so busy trying to gather things, sometimes we're so busy trying to make sure we are looking good for other people, for ourselves, and we have God is nowhere near our, in our vision. He's not even in our preview. And so we're trying to get ourselves together for everybody else but ourselves, and we'll delay and miss opportunities, and therefore not walk in obedience to God. But I want to share this with you today. We've got to make things happen. We need to move with urgency. And whatever you have in your hands, whatever you have in your possession, let me just tell you, let me remind you of this. God can work with whatever you have in your hands. God works our hands. Pastor Jared's giving it to us. God works our hands. Whatever you have in your hands, God can work with. The songwriter Daniel Bell said, little becomes much when you place it in the master's hands. Whatever you have, he can take the size of a mustard and make it huge and big. He can take whatever you have in your hands and work. So what you have to do is be obedient to what he has assigned for you to do and get going. I'm talking about pick up the pace, you all. It's time to pick up the pace. Oh my gosh, it's time to pick up the pace. Let's get going. We don't have the time. Let me pull up on point number two. Point number two, don't settle for a comfortable speed. We talk about this all the time. I said it. I'm hearing it a lot. I'm hearing it come back to me a lot in other messages from different people. But you've got to learn to become comfortable being uncomfortable in this faith race. You've got to learn to be uncomfortable. You can find comfort in being uncomfortable in this faith race. Don't settle for a comfortable speed. Do not find yourself looking to the left and to the right and trying to measure your assignment or your movement by anybody else. Don't settle for a comfortable speed. This is just one of my favorite scriptures. One of my favorite scriptures, Hebrews 12:1. Lay aside every weight, and you know it, every sin that so easily beset you, and let's run this race with patience, the race that is set before us. You've got to run this race. It's your race. Okay, it's not nobody else's race. And sometimes we get complacent. I probably should have said that, complacent with where we are. And so we slow down. We say it's okay, I don't have to go that fast, I don't have to move, with urgency. I'm okay, we're halfway through. And so we need to, just kind of slow it down. We're coming to the last quarter of the year. And so sometimes we get tired, but you got to push yourself even when you're tired. You have to push yourself even when you're tired. Let me put it this way. Walking at a slow, convenient pace may feel safe, but success requires stretching. Push yourself beyond what feels easy, because growth happens when you accelerate. Let me tell you this. I was at the Bishop's Conference, and I have been steady, and I've been pushing myself to make sure that I still exercise. It doesn't matter if I'm at a conference, if I'm on a cruise, if I'm at I'm doing site visits, whatever I'm doing at home, I'm still going to make sure I get my exercise in, because I'm dedicated to my health. That's where my main focus is. And of course, outside my spirituality, those things have still been there, and mental, but my physical body was something that I was not taking care of. So I've been really focused on that in this season. And so I wanted to make sure, but I'm telling you, it was tiring. It was tiring. I'm tired. I flew all the way out there. I was tired, got in the bed, and I was just tired when that alarm came up, and we were an hour ahead. And so my body wasn't used to getting up there early, but I pushed myself. I said, you got to get up. I went down to the gym, and we had to walk just a little ways to get down there, but down to the gym and worked out. It was important to me to push myself. And that's what I'm saying to you right now, is that you've got to, it requires stretching. It requires pushing beyond what feels easy. I could have very easily just laid in the bed and said, well, I'm at a conference, and there's no sense in me making it a big ordeal. I could have come up with all kind of excuses. But can I say this to you all? No excuses. No excuses in this season. No excuses. Come on, Bernard is out there. Oh, Bonda is out there. Come on, Yvette. Donovan's out there. There's no excuses. It's time for us to push past the excuses of why we have not been able to move into the places that God has called for us to be. If we don't grab a hold of his promises, his blessings, if we don't come out of this season with more than what we had going in, it is on us. It's not God. It's not your neighbor. It's not your enemy. It's not your frenemy. It is you. You're going to have to face yourself because he's given us the opportunities in order to be successful. And all we've got to do is just keep putting one foot in front of the other. Continue to just step, continue to move forward. If I go back to last week's message and last week's session where we talked about the children of Israel walking around the walls of Jericho, all they were required to do was to put one foot forward. He didn't say run. He didn't say skip. He didn't say jog. All he said was walk. And he's saying that to us. We just got to continue to step into our new season. All right. So it's important. Let's do this. Let's do this one. Redeem the time you've lost. Redeem the time. Sometimes we have, we let some days go by without, getting it together. All I'm saying to you now is don't get caught there. Don't get caught there. All right. Just start where you are. I've been saying this to you every Sunday that we've been having this session. Start where you are. If you were going to read the book of Romans and you didn't make up you didn't get started, go back and pick up those chapters. You may have to stay up an extra half an hour, at night to read a chapter and get up the next morning an extra half an hour to read another chapter just to get caught up. But what I'm asking you to do is get caught up, and so that you can make it to the end. This is your goal. This is what God has laid on your heart to do. Don't allow for what you didn't do to cause you to be a weight. Don't allow for what you didn't accomplish to be something that guilts you and to be a burden on you. Let's make up the gap. Make up the gap. Sometimes when I was running, I didn't get out of my blocks on time. So I had to make up the gap. I had to pick up a couple space, pace it myself. I had to make a couple steps, just to make up the gap so then I could get into my groove, into my stride. I did the 400. So I had to make me speed up just a little bit so I could get back into my stride because I missed the mark. I didn't get out of my blocks on time. And sometimes these things happen. Sometimes these things happen. Ephesians 5:16, this is the B clause of this, says making the most of every opportunity because the days are evil. Sometimes we have to make sure that we didn't get it right 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 3 years ago. We wasn't listening. We wasn't as diligent with this. We weren't as intentional. We wasn't as disciplined as we are now. But it's okay. What we want to do is we want to make sure that we chime in on that we grab hold of the opportunities now. Let's not repeat history. Let's make history. Y'all better pick that thing up. That was good for me. Let's not repeat history, but let's make history. Let's make God history within our own lives. It's time for us to pick up the pace. It's time for us to grab a hold of every opportunity. We have to make sure, I want to put that up again, making the most of every opportunity because the days are evil. You all know that. You all see what's going on. But we've got to make the most of every opportunity. Every place that God has put us in is an opportunity for us to show Christ, for us to show God, for us to show people that he cares about his children. We need to show people that God is God all by himself and there is none other. Let me pull up this last one because I love this. Match your pace with God's promise. Now that, when the Lord dropped in my spirit, was so amazing to me. That did something for me. Match your pace with God's promise. Whatever God promised you, whatever he promised you, you've got to pace yourself for the promise. That's why you can't run nobody else's race. Because not everybody's promise, everybody's assignment is your assignment. It's not. Just like we have identification on our fingertips, that's how people will know they can get your fingertips. They know, or your dental record just makes you unique. The same thing is for you. Your blueprint, your fingerprints for natural, your blueprint, spiritual blueprint, but in the spiritual, it marks who you are. So you got to match your pace with God's promise. Let me just read this. Habakkuk 2 and 3. For the revelation awaits an appointed time. It speaks of the end. It will not prove false. Though it linger, wait for it. It will certainly come and will not delay. So you got to stay up with the pace. Don't linger. Don't fall back. This is not the time to be falling back. This is a time for moving forward. In Hebrews, it tells us, let's not have a drawback spirit, but let's continue to move forward. Because if he promised it, he was going to do it, it's going to happen. It will come. It may seem like it's tarrying. It may seem like it's delayed. It may seem like you have plenty of time. But when God says move, he says move. Just think about the 10 virgins, the 5 wise and 5 foolish. They thought they had time to go back and get some oil. But while they were gone, the bridegroom came. We don't want that to be our testimony. We don't want that to be our testimony. It's very important that we make sure that God is with us and that we're doing what God says do. I put this little note here. Just want to read it. When Israel crossed the Jordan, I was just referencing that. And when the disciples spread the gospel, timing mattered. Success means aligning your speed with God's season so you don't miss the blessing that's waiting ahead. You don't want to be using all this energy and never accomplish anything. We don't want our work to be in vain, but we want everything that God told us to do to have happen, and we're excited about it. Listen, I'm so pumped up. If you could tell in my voice, I'm so excited about what God is doing and some things that are coming down the pipeline. And I want to share just a few things with you. Bishop Maynard spoke to us on yesterday during the Tennessee 4th meeting. I'm just sharing this here. And he challenged us in prayer, in worship, and in praise. And he talked to us about prayer, fasting, and praise. And so with the prayer, he was telling us we're going to pray 3 times a day, Tuesday and Friday, 6 a.m., 12 noon, and 6 p.m. Go ahead and set your alarm, 6 a.m., 12 noon, 6 p.m. Some of you probably are like myself. You already pray at 6 a.m. So, but Tuesday and Friday, 6 a.m., 12 noon, and 6 p.m. Go ahead and mark your calendars. Go ahead and set it up in your phones or wherever you keep your alarms that sets it up to let you know. You may say, well, I'm at work at 12 noon. That's okay. If you're like me or when I used to work in corporate America, I would just shut my door and then take my lunch at 12 noon. I would tell my boss at 12 noon, I just need to shut my door and just take 5 minutes, 10 minutes. It doesn't have to be a long prayer. He didn't tell us to pray, for 30 minutes, but just take some time to pray. Let's just walk in obedience. Let's walk in obedience so that we can find ourselves aligned with the season that we're in. Here's the second thing he talked about was fasting. Fasting on those days from 12 midnight to 6 p.m. So from 12 midnight to 6 p.m. Now, this came from our jurisdictional bishop. So if you're not a part of the jurisdiction and your jurisdictional bishop tells you don't do that, that's on you. I'm not telling you all you have to do it. I'm sharing what was shared with us. And so you don't have to be a part of Tennessee 4th to join in. Let's just do it. It ain't going to hurt nobody to pray and to fast. So 12 midnight to 6 p.m. So we're going to go on Tuesdays and Fridays from 12 midnight to 6 p.m. with no food. Okay. He said water, you take your mints, but no food. Now, if you have to take medication, as he said, monitor yourselves accordingly. But as you all already know, a lot of times we're just consecrating nowadays. We don't do a fast. But on these 2 days, he's asking us to fast. There's 12 midnight to 6 p.m. the next day. So we're going to be fasting on Tuesday. So 12 midnight, Tuesday early morning, or Monday night, early morning till 6 p.m. And we're going to be praying 6 a.m., 12 noon, 6 p.m. We're praying on Tuesdays and Fridays. We want to go out there and get it. Go out there and get it. And then we're going to be giving God praise and thanksgiving. Hallelujah for all that he has done. And we want to give him praise. Here's the second thing that I want to put out there for you. On October the 19th, we'll be celebrating Pastor Jerry's pastoral anniversary. October the 19th, save the date. Come out and join us at October the 19th. And that's at 7:45 and 10 a.m. At 10 a.m., we have Bishop Linward Dillard, who is going to be the special guest. I cannot wait. I just love to hear him preach. I mean, the man can bring it down. And so we're so excited about that. So come out. If you're in the area, come out and join us. If not, you have time to book your flights and book your travel plans to be here with us October the 19th. If you're in town for the TSU homecoming, just put it on your notebook, on your calendar to come on over on Sunday morning, and you could just join us there. And listen, Marquita Knight, if you all know, she is just powerful, powerhouse psalmist extraordinaire, is going to be with us as well. So it's just going to be a wonderful time. Our praise team is going to be present. Our ministers are going to be there. We're just coming out to celebrate Pastor Jerry in his 4 years of being pastor at Cathedral of Praise, Nashville, Tennessee, and we're so pumped up and excited about it. I tell you what, it's nothing but fantastic. And then here's my last thing that I want to share with you. This coming Tuesday, yes, this coming Tuesday, 2 days from now, I have been invited to share with the women's department at 7:30 a.m. And so the flyer will be on my Facebook page. We'll also post it up on Cathedral of Praise, so you'll be able to see it, but you can join in and you know the numbers to dial in. But I'm going to be sharing, amen, with this group, the ages 33 to 52. And so I'll be sharing with them just some things that God has given to us. We're going to just be talking to them about stewardship. Stewardship is what they've asked me to speak on, and that's just having a balanced life. And so we'll be talking to you all about that. But join in. I'm asking the conversation crew, I'm asking my friends and family to join in with me that day. You may not ever join in that time. Maybe you say that's not my age group. It doesn't matter. On that day, I'm asking you to join in. Let's add another 50 people to that line. Let's shut the line down. So let's add another 50 people to that line and just show up and show out. Come out and support if you can. It's a conference call. You don't have to be dressed. It's not Zoom. You're not going to be on Zoom. It's just a conference call. You don't have to be a woman to join in. Anybody can join in, but join me if you can. Please go to my Facebook page. I will make sure that I have the flyer out there for you. If you need to get the flyer to you and you have my information, go ahead and text me or DM me and I'll send you the flyer. I have it on my phone. I can just send it immediately to you so you can have that information. But join me. Don't miss it. I'm so excited to be with them. So that's this Tuesday. And it just falls right in line because we're going to be praying at 6 a.m. We're going to be fasting on Monday beforehand. And then we're going to be speaking to you at 7:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Central Standard Time at 7:30 a.m. And I will send you the flyer. God is just amazing. He continues to do nothing but short of being great, the great God that he is. And I tell you, it's excitement in the air. Listen, hang out with us. We're not going anywhere right here on the social media platform, 7:45 a.m., 1 hour of power. And if you can't make it, join us at 10 a.m., our worship experience. If you don't get a chance to catch it then, catch the replay because God is doing amazing, amazing things. Listen, until we see each other again, I want you to go out and make this a wonderful and great day because God is doing something supernatural in the place and you don't want to miss it. Remember, your voice is valuable and your voice is powerful. Go out and speak life in everything you do and say. Until then, bye-bye.